Thank you for tuning in to Talkwad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
Hey, this is Straight Up with Toby Martini. I am Toby Martini. On this show, we're talking about business. We're talking about getting started, keeping it going, and making money, actually. If you're an entrepreneur or you want to be, this is definitely the show for you. So call in later today, and we will get this started. Hey, everybody, Toby Martini. So welcome to the very first episode of this show. You know, one of the things... If you're somebody who already knows me, you come through one of my workshops or something, you know I'm an improviser. I like to make stuff up, and I don't plan much. So you'll be shocked to know I don't know how this show's going to go. This is just going to be me talking. I'm going to have a guest. Today, my guest is Cynthia Clark, who's awesome. I'll tell you a lot about her, and then I'll bring her out here, and she'll tell you about her business, how she gets started, and then hopefully you'll learn something that you can use in your business. So my thing... One of them, the biggest one, is learn to be uncomfortable, right? Learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And if an opportunity comes to you, take it. Maybe you don't know what that's going to look like, right? So that's what this show is. This radio show is about, I'm not really sure what that looks like, but I'm just going to go. And I'm going to make it work. And then a lot of good things are going to come out of it. I don't even know what. I have a couple of intentions, but who knows what's going to happen? But if I wasn't here, I'd be sitting home, or I'd be sitting in my office, right? Just hoping for something to happen. So this is making things happen. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business person, you can't just be sitting around, right? You got to get out there. So I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff, things that I think work, and I'm going to invite calls. If you want to call, the number is 813-235-0644, and you can give me a call and say, ask me a question about your business. Maybe you have a comment on something I said. I hope that we do this for a good long time, but today is the very first show. I'm going to record this and give it to my children when they're growing up to be entrepreneurs. I'll say, kids, here's some stuff you're going to need to know to get started. All right. So, what shall we talk about? Well, we're going to talk about getting it started. A lot of people want to be in business. They've got an idea. Or even, maybe they don't even have an idea yet. They're just thinking, I hate my job. By show of hands, who out there hates their job, right? I know it's something like 83% of everybody just completely hates their job. Well, it's because you're not built to have a job where you sit in a cubicle or a box or a really small office. You're not built to sit in that box for 8 or 10 or 12 hours a day. Look, if you think about how humans worked in the past for a few thousand years anyway, recorded history. Before about 120 years ago, 125 years ago, you would work at a business that was run by your parents. You get in the family business, or if you didn't like it, you wanted to go out and be, reckless, you could go start your own business. Some small number of people went and they were an apprentice. But even being an apprentice, that means I'm going to work for somebody for a little while, learning these skills. Then I'm going to go be on my own. I'm going to have my own business. And what happened is we got factories. Henry Ford, famous for making cars, but really what he's famous for, what he really did for the world is he created factories. He created the assembly line. And just like cars come off an assembly line, they're all the same. What's easiest for a big business is if people are all the same and they're interchangeable, right? And then it didn't matter that I had a skilled workman who knew how to make a wooden steering wheel, for example. I don't know if they had that. But you would have people who knew how to push a button and push that through. All the steering wheels are then the same. And anybody could push that button. Anybody could pull that press down. So that was the advantage of an assembly line, is you didn't have to require skilled labor. You could have anybody do it, right? So they changed our educational system. We got to teaching people, how do you take orders? How do you go sit in a box and do things that you need to do for 8 hours? How do you follow a plan, right? And that's how McDonald's works, right? You can go to McDonald's and there's 20 people who work in there and they don't have to be educated. They don't have to be experienced. They just have to read the thing and take step by step. So It's an unusual thing for all of human existence. For about the last 125 years, we've been playing according to the school teaches us to do things by rote, to do things in order, on time, when we're told to. And if you had your own inclination on what would I do, well, you can't do that at school because we don't have time for that. There's a format. And when you're at work, there's no creativity time for most folks. There's no creativity time. There's no, I get to play, I'm going to come up with new ideas, I'm going to do whatever I want. It's just do what we ask in this order. And that's hard for people, I think. So that brings me back to the whole thing is you need to go out and do your own thing. Because a piece of this is nobody's going to be a millionaire working in the cubicle, right? 2% of the people, 3% of the people make millions in these big corporations. And everybody else is making their wage. And unless you're a smart investor, you're real savvy in what you do with the money that you do make, there's no real good way to make millions of dollars. Now, go out and be an entrepreneur. Now your options are open. Anything could happen. And there's no guarantee that you make a lot of money, but it's yours. It's yours to make. You're responsible. You get to say, by the dint of your own efforts, can you be successful? Right? And then you get to be the cause and the matter. You get to be the person who is in charge of your life. And that's why I love entrepreneurs. And I love small business people. I love to talk to people who have a dream. I've got an idea. If I could just go out and do that. But I don't know business, and I don't know marketing, I don't know accounting. That's cool. Everything's find-outable, right? In my world of making up words every day. Everything's find-outable. You can Google anything. You want to learn marketing, you want to learn accounting, you can pay somebody, you can Google it, you can read a book. But you bring something unique, the one thing that you do really well. Okay? So that's my long preamble. I just made that up. I hope you liked it. So somebody capture this so I can write that down. I'll put that in my book. That's going to be the intro. Me and Seth Godin. So one thing that I am going to do on this show is have a guest. I'd like to have a guest every week, and we're going to be talking to an entrepreneur, a small business person, and I want to find out how they got started, what are they doing, what have they learned. And today's guest is Cynthia Clark, and she is, let's see, what does she do exactly? She's a doctor. She does acupuncture and Chinese medicine, and she can, come on in here, Cynthia. Why don't you put on your little headphones so you look silly like me? I don't know if you have to do that, right? But if you want to hear me, I guess. Yes. Oh, they said you had to. Great. Now, is she hearable?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, great.
Not in my headphones, though. You hear her? Oh, okay.
Okay, it's good.
Okay, great. Hi, so sorry about that. So, Cynthia, tell us, what is the name of your business and what exactly do you do there?
It is Crane Health, and I am a Chinese medicine practitioner, so I do acupuncture and nutrition.
Cool. You don't look very Chinese.
You're not the first person to say that.
So, how do you get into that?
You go to Chinese medicine school, which is a 4-year program, no breaks, no summers off.
Right.
4 years year round.
So 7 days a week, 18
Yes,
hours a day,
absolutely.
4 years in a row.
20 hours a day, 18-hour
Yikes.
days on the weekends.
Right. But between the acupuncture and the medicine that you take, you could just do that.
Well, and it's actually quite the comment that I couldn't have gotten through Chinese medicine school without Chinese medicine. I don't know anybody that couldn't.
Right.
That could have.
Could have, right. So in the world of this show and the things that I like to talk about, it is entrepreneurs and small businesses. How did you get started doing that? That's my normal question, so it's not to you yet. It is, did you have a dream? And you go, I've always wanted to do acupuncture, right? Where you're a little child with your Barbie dolls poking them with needles. Like, is that how that gets started? So how did you get into that? What made you go, I could do that? And also, why not do that for somebody else? Why have your own company?
Okay, so that's a great question, and I'm so glad you asked it exactly that way, because that is in fact what I was doing. Before I went to Chinese medicine school, my undergraduate degree is in industrial engineering, and I was a planning engineer for the gas company in Dallas. I then moved to Colorado Springs, and I got into the world of information technology right before the bubble burst.
Yeah.
Worked in that field for a little while. During that time, I became partner in a business technology consulting firm. And so I was primarily in charge of all sales and business development. Essentially, I became the operations portion of it. Mm-hmm. So I spent my days making somebody else's business work really well.
It's what everybody does, mostly.
Yeah. I had the honor and the privilege to work with a wonderful, very, very ethical business person. He'd been in business for 14 years by the time I started working with him. And I learned...
I'm sorry, I have to cut in because
Yep.
that's something that brings up something.
Yeah.
You said, I worked with a very ethical business person, which there's a thing about that, right? Because you wouldn't make that distinction unless you maybe before thought most business people are unethical. Do you know what I mean? And I bring it up because I think a lot of people think that. A lot of people say, I don't want to get into business. I don't want to be a cutthroat. I don't want to sell my soul and go after the dollars.
I think you're absolutely right.
And I just hate that, right? The thing I have found is small business people and entrepreneurs are the ones, they care more about people. They help each other, and their product that they sell is usually to help people. They're not money-grubbing, cigar-smoking fatties, we'll take all of their dollars. It's not like that. It's not like the guy in Monopoly, like that. But I think business people are the... They're the best people, right? Their contribution, and they want to make money doing what they do.
Yeah, I get that. And they're very connected to the entirety of their business process. So they are often the person that's taking your money. They're the person that is providing the service. They're the person that's doing the follow-up. They're all of it.
Right, customer service. Too.
Yeah. So
I
agree
interrupted,
with
but
you.
I mean, it's such a great point because too many people fear that. I don't want to be in business. I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
There is not that guy. There's 2% of people who are bad people.
I had worked for that guy.
Yeah. Okay. So we're back to, so you were,
And you're right.
you were doing all these technical things. You were an engineer, then you're an operations manager. It sounds
Right.
very not Chinese medicine.
It was very not Chinese medicine. From there, I then moved into the construction industry. One of my clients headhunted me as I was looking
Sounds
for as I was looking for a new position. And I worked in the construction industry for a year before the housing market took a dive and the bubble burst. And
So wait, what industry are you in now? Because I need to not be in it apparently next year.
And I had some time to do some soul searching and to think about what was really important to me. If I was going to be making people's businesses work well, then I thought I might like to make a business work well that I really believed in. Technology is cool and it's interesting, and construction is, you're building houses for people, so that has a level of satisfaction. But what was the coolest thing that I could absolutely imagine doing with my life, just bar none, and it was working miracles in Chinese medicine. So I decided to go spend 4 years figuring out how to do that.
And when you went to school to do that, did you already think, I'm going to go do this and then be my own business?
I did. And in fact, I'll be very honest with you about something. I worked my way through engineering school and my grades kind of sucked to the point where when I was applying for Chinese medicine school, even though I was this very diligent, hard worker, always pursued additional education, they looked at my transcript and said, we would like to have an interview with you and we need you to convince us that you would be a good candidate for this school.
That you're somebody who does the work and will actually get done.
Absolutely. And ultimately, they told me that they accepted me based upon the fact that they thought that I would be a good business person, that I was really going to invest in this and give it a good go.
Which is probably unusual. In that, I bet a lot of people go to take Chinese medicine because they want to learn about Chinese medicine. And they're not really thinking, I'm going to go be a business person.
That is very true. And not that that's a bad thing, but it is very true that, people are, it's a calling, it's a healing art. It's not something you get into because you want to make flipping great wodgers of cash. It's something that you get into because you really want to help people, and you kind of have to learn about that sustainability of green qi along the way.
Green qi. Right? I've heard of green tea. I've heard of qi. I've heard green tea. Is that something that is said in that community?
It is.
Like, is that the metaphor for making cash?
Because we understand the transfer of energy in general in the world and in the universe. And once you think of money just in the terms of transfer of energy, then all of the issues about, am I really worthy of this? Am I, all the things that that filter through our lizard brain disappear because we just say, oh, this is just green qi. Got it.
Right. Yeah, that's actually good. It's one step farther, I guess, than I go, because I usually, and again, people chase money, they want to accumulate money or whatever, and some people, I'm just bad at it. Okay. But money is, I have it that money is just your time, right? It's your time and your expertise. That's what money is. People give that to you because you put in your time and you have some expertise that you're sharing, even if you're making a product, right? It took something to make that, even if you're the salesperson or whatever. It's the time that you put in and the energy that you're putting into it. So it is time is energy, but money is energy. I was a little more like money is your time and knowledge.
I like that equation.
But even better, it's just energy. It's just and then the other thing, and I don't know if you've read this or heard of it, but money it should be like a circuit, right? If you don't have enough money and you hoard what you do have, you won't make more money, right? Because money is a circuit. So if you start spending it and you start giving it away, especially people who tithe and they talk about give away your money because it's a circuit. More will come if you put it out. That's why it's called currency. Like that. Like, cute. It makes sense. I like it. Right? So it's energy, but if you think of it like electricity, you can't just shut this half of the circuit and expect to make more money.
That makes a lot of sense. And I'll bet a number of marketing consulting companies would pay you lots of money to say that.
And I just did it for free.
Oh,
it's going to be in everybody's book next year. Yeah. No, I don't know where I got that. I read that somewhere. I'm not a genius. I just read voraciously, and I'm half a genius. No. But I read voraciously. I read at least a book or two a week, and I'm into marketing. I'm into business. I love this stuff. Could you tell me where I get my references? No. But if you read one book, and then you go write that same book, that's plagiarism. But if you read 100 books, and you go write the book based on all of them, then that's artistry. That's everything. It's not plagiarism. You're packaging it differently to make it easy for people.
I guess we're assuming that you don't have eidetic memory and can't copy exactly.
We're assuming you don't have eidetic memory and are not copying exact passages. So I could totally do that. If you write a book, I'm just going to take it and put my name on it. All right.
Be honored.
Here's the thing. So you went to Chinese medicine school. Where's Chinese medicine school? In China?
Austin, Texas.
Of course, because
AOMA Graduate School of Integrated Medicine in Austin, Texas.
AOMA. Okay, cool. Austin is a fun city. It's a party city. A lot is happening. I hear it's a booming, cool city.
That's what I hear. I was really a bookworm.
Didn't even see the city.
I saw some of it.
Yeah.
Not as much as I would have liked.
So here you go to school. I'm going to learn this medicine, and I'm going to start a business. And then your husband's in the business with you.
Right. So we met in school. He was my study partner.
Oh,
and we graduated at the same time. Yes, he had designs, ulterior motives.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so now I know how that happened. So you're at school, and you meet this guy, and you're getting along, and you're good at school, and you both go, hey, let's form a partnership. Let's form two. All right? So then we're going to get married, and we're going to be in business together. There's a whole show, ladies and gentlemen, around being in business with your partner. We'll talk about that
Good.
another
I want to listen to that one.
Right. Let me tell you, as an aside, my wife won't work with me at all. Right? She loves me. She's great. She's supportive. For those of you who know me, she's a saint, right? She's amazing. But she's like, she knows too many people who've worked together, who it's bad for them. And I think it's hard if you're together all day doing business and you go home and you go, I got to tell you about this jerk at work. Right. I was there.
You were the jerk.
Never mind. Yeah, I'm sorry, honey. So that's 24 hours a day with somebody. You need some time out. So that's a whole other thing. So anyway, I've backtracked. So you're at school. You get with the guy. You say, we're going to start a business. You decide at that point you're going to start the business together?
I think for me, it was a criteria of dating.
Yeah.
Whether or not I could, because it's a big deal. It was someone that I was seeing every single day already. Mm-hmm. And so the transition to a romantic relationship was a really big step because to me that jeopardized my study partner, which was a relationship that was, critical to the success of my schooling, right. I perceived at that time. Mm-hmm. I knew that his family was from Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. And so before we ever went on our first date, I had gotten to the place in my mind where I was potentially okay with the idea of living in Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow. How do you get there?
You sit with it for a year.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It would have to be a heck of an opportunity and one hell of a guy to make me want to go to Pittsburgh.
Well, he is that.
Yes, he is cute. I have seen him. Hi, Courtney. So let's get to this. So you decide, okay, we've got our Chinese medicine diplomas on. I'm sure they're scrolls, and you're now going to be in business. Is it scary? Is it easy? How does it go?
Some things were tremendously easy. I know other people in school that were talking about going into partnership together, and things that they were talking about were very, very easy things for us to figure out. You know, the fact that we communicated so well with each other and that we were so like-minded as practitioners. We have very similar treating styles, and we are drawn to the same types of treatment modalities. So one thing about Chinese medicine is it is really an art. So every acupuncturist practices a little bit differently. And some people that I might think of going into business with would practice in a way that they would not at all want to be associated with me.
So it's a little different. There might be some accountants who have slightly different ideas, but they could work together.
Right.
But this is such an integral part of everything. It's not just how I treat this patient.
Right.
You have to be on the same page for every aspect of the business in this case.
And you can see it, generally you can see it in the office itself. It tends to manifest. So some acupuncturist offices are going to be very clinical. They're going to have a very doctory kind of feel. Some offices are going to be very touchy-feely. Some of them are going to feel like you're in a garden, or some combination of these. Yeah. And the practitioner style will tend to match the setting a little bit, right? So we had similar styles and priorities to begin with, personal values also. So that part made it easy. But then we also had really different skill sets and backgrounds and business experiences. And so we had some conversations that during the course of some rather mundane research event, we realized that we were both coming at it from completely different angles. And that was a wonderful experience to have within our marriage because we got to learn a lot about each other. But you're right, it also puts that stress on it of you don't really get to take a break.
Yeah. So what was the hardest thing about starting your business? What was tough?
For us, so my undergraduate degree is in industrial engineering, and my husband has been an audio engineer for the course of his life. And he is generally a very go with the flow kind of guy, very likable, very easy to get along with. And I'm very, I want the routine.
Did we mention he's cute?
And he's cute. And I want the process, I want the system, because this is both my personal inclination and it's also my training in my degree. So one thing that was really difficult between the two of us was Cynthia, Dr. Cynthia, wanted, and wife Cynthia, wanted these particular systems. So I want paperwork set up like this. I want when a customer walks into the clinic, I want them to be greeted like this and seen like this. And on the next visit, I want there to be reported findings.
So you're very organized and planning and scheduling ahead.
Right.
I have none of that. I'm the world's worst at that. Yeah,
and Courtney really likes the flexibility of being able to, from his perspective, meet the person where they are. He doesn't want them to feel like they are either part of a canned
Yeah,
system.
it's a process, and I'm just a number by the time I'm done filling out the papers. Yeah.
Right, and he also wants the leniency as a practitioner to be able to do whatever the heck he wants. It feels as appropriate in the moment. So he might do a report of findings for one person. He might feel that that's not appropriate for somebody else. And so that was really a big, one of our meta challenges. Right. Not just a little thing, but how do we get around this?
And I think most people who are starting a business, I'm going to say 92.5%.
Oh, wow.
92.5% of people. 87% of all statistics are made up by a speaker. But the vast majority of people starting a business are starting it on their own. Right there. I've got a widget. I've got an idea for a product. I'm a coach, I have a service, like that sort of thing. And so most don't have that. But then there's a whole world of things that can come up about having a partner. Right. Again, what you're talking about is we have such different styles about some stuff. I want to have forms and do this. Well, I don't really know what we need a form. So then you either have to agree, or then you have two different systems going on. Right. One of which is really lax, but still is a system.
But still is a system.
So yeah, that's messy.
And kind of like when you read a political essay, if you take two people of two different persuasions and have them read the same essay, they will each come out more convinced of their own opinion.
Absolutely.
It's the same way in our business. A course of events will happen, and I will think, wow, this really bears out that we need to have a very consistent business process model. And Courtney will think this really bears out that we need to have our ability to change things on the spot.
Right. Yep. Well, your brain will always seek evidence for what you think is so.
Boy, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Why am I so tied to my own opinions?
And then
It doesn't do me any good.
Crazy. But you can read something, like you said, you can read something that's neutral, but you kind of say that proves my point, right? Because you read the parts that are more right for you. Yeah, tricky. I don't have tons to say about partnerships. I'm a big fan of creating partnerships or strategic alliances or that sort of thing where I have a business and I have people in a similar business. But I don't have that much experience. Like I have a partner in my business, and then because I'm used to going, well, I'll try it this way, and I'll see if it works, right? And then if it doesn't work, you're okay. But here, you have to try something. You have to get agreement in every case.
One thing that I have found that is a tremendous benefit to having a business partner is the accountability aspect, which I'm sure you encounter. However you go about it as a small business person, you wind up setting up some system for yourself that you have some accountability, unless you're Toby Martini and you could just pull this stuff off.
Just go. Yeah.
I find that my husband we've purchased a clinic down in Sarasota. So now we have two clinics, and I primarily work out of the Tampa clinic and he primarily works out of the Sarasota clinic. And one thing that I really experienced is that lack of accountability, which leads to lack of consistency. And when you're new and you're trying to figure out what works, and you figure out something that works sometimes, if you do it consistently, then you can figure out when it works and when it's appropriate to do. And if you don't do it consistently, it's just a thing that happened once.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's definitely a weakness that's been.
Well, so this shows up a lot of ways. One, just like here at this radio station, apparently before I got here, there was a problem with, there's multiple studios here, and there was something wrong with a monitor somewhere. And one gent said, I fixed that. And somebody else said, oh, how did you do that? I don't know, I just did it. Like it happened. He fixed it, but it's not replicatable. So there's other studios that still have the problem. Right. Nothing wrong, right? Nothing wrong with the guy.
Sure.
Like it just happened right here. And so what happens is people start their business and marketing, for example. Like marketing is almost always played like this. People try stuff. I heard direct mail. I've heard Facebook. I heard whatever. And they try something, but they try it and it does or doesn't work, but they're just trying everything a little bit.
Right.
You can never tell what's going to work because you're just trying everything a little bit. So whatever. The even more important thing about that is accountability is astoundingly huge. And if you have a partner and you say, let's try something, I'll do this, you do that, and you don't do it, then they come and yell at you and go, hey, you're killing our business. And then you'll do it. When you are your own entrepreneur, you're your whole own business, it's a problem because it's too easy to let go of the stuff you don't like to do. You just don't do it.
Are you of the school that you believe that you can be accountable to yourself, or that you believe you can't be accountable to yourself?
I think some people can be accountable to themselves.
Okay. So you believe that it's possible. Okay.
It's possible. Yeah. I personally am too easy to let myself off the hook. So I don't do everything I say I will do. And I don't know. I think I get a lot done. But then there are some pieces, like everybody. So accounting is a really big thing for a lot of people. Most people don't want to do that, right? And then another piece is like the networking part. People don't want to go network. They don't want to talk to people, whatever. What happens is you fill your day with the stuff you like to do and the stuff that's okay to do, and you leave the stuff you hate for last. And by the end of the day, it's too late and we'll do it first thing tomorrow. No, you won't. You're going to do the first thing that you like tomorrow. And that's a problem. So I want you entrepreneurs.
Have you been looking at my calendar last week? I feel very revealed right now.
It's everybody. It's, people just do it. And, I do the same thing. My accounting stuff, and what's worse? Oh, actually, let me back up. It's like Brian Tracy book, or at least saying, eat that frog.
Oh.
First thing, do the thing you don't want to do. Do the hardest thing, the scariest thing, the thing you want to do the least. Get it out of the way. Because there's a thing, which is your brain has a limited ability to keep making decisions and has a limited amount of willpower. It really does. The more you challenge your willpower, the less you will have for later in the day. That's why you should work out first thing in the morning. There's other reasons too, I guess. But if you work out first thing in the morning, it's like, should I go? And you bring, I don't want to, I don't do. Yes, I should. Willpower can win. 6:30, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Hey, should I go to the gym? Oh, I'm so tired.
So is that your plan? You're going to work out first thing in the morning?
Yeah, I don't have a plan. Yeah.
Right. We were talking about that.
Yeah. But I do have somebody, right? And I'll mention her name next time maybe, who's willing
Sorry
to work
to put
with
you on
me.
the spot,
Help me
I
out.
just
No,
said.
it's true. Well, so accountability, right? As a doctor who sticks needles in my ears occasionally, we talk about things. So I'm in decent shape, but I don't work out. I don't exercise in any way. I should be 400 pounds, and I'm not. Yay, right? But so I have somebody who said, I will work with you. I'll show you a little bit of stuff. But it keeps getting bumped. Couple weeks. You know why? Not my favorite thing to do. Don't really want to get it done. Have a lot of other stuff to do, And so everything gets in the way. But in your business, same stuff. I got accounting. Oh, I'll get to it, Networking meeting. There's a networking thing tonight. I'd like to, but I'm a little behind on this. Right? You'll find 50 reasons why not to at the last minute. Right? So if you fear networking, go in the morning. They have morning meetings all over. They have lunch meetings and stuff and night meetings. But accountability, if you have a partner, cool. I got a whole thing if it's your wife, though. That's a whole thing around that. But if you have a business partner, cool. If you don't have a business partner, maybe get a coach, right? Get a business coach. It doesn't even have to be a business coach. For those of you who do know a little bit about coaching, there's business coaches, or don't know, there's business coaches who they know a lot about business. They'll give you advice. They'll help you. And there's life coaches. And people kind of think that means, relationships or whatever. But it's not. I don't even like the word life coach so much anymore. But a coach is somebody who helps figure out what you want, gets really clear on where you're at, and then figures out how to get from here to there, right? There's two things. One is they're a sounding board. They can hear your ideas, and then you can hear it back and go, yes, I should do that, right? Here, right now, talking about working out. I say it out loud, and I go, I better go do that, right? Hearing myself say it matters. But then there's accountability. A coach is never mean. They're not pushy. But they're like, you're going to do this, and that, and the other thing. Did you get that done? No, you didn't. Okay, so what's in the way? Let's figure it out for next time. So for all my business coach friends out there, all my coach friends out there, I want you to have business. Right? One, because I think you deserve business, and I want my friends to be successful. But anybody in business, you need to have somebody looking over your shoulder, right? You have that with your husband, but then who wants to bring business home and talk about it after too? Or it's like, it's too much maybe. So you might have a coach or at least somebody who's looking at you, right? That's why the other reason it's worth paying an accountant, right? I guess I could get QuickBooks and figure it out. Have an accountant because they're good at it, right? Yes, it costs something, but they're good at it and they'll probably save you money in the end. But really, knowing somebody's looking at your stuff, they'll probably do it. Makes you more likely to do it.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm a person who tends to think that I can do it and I can do it myself. Yeah. Even when I might have the world's leading expert on a given matter standing right next to me, telling me freely, it would be awesome if you did this, I'll still think that really I can do this myself. I just have that little gene. Fortunately, I'm aware of it. In previous times in life, I've had the opportunity to work with an executive coach, and it was not just business changing, but it was really life changing. It was just after that I had the opportunity to decide what I wanted to do next with my life, and I decided to go to Chinese medicine school because I had a clearer perception of what my priorities were. Yeah, and so I couldn't agree with you more.
It's hard to get that. We talk to ourselves, right? You're talking to your
two... You're not supposed to say that on the air.
Most people only talk with the two voices that are in their head. Some have others, right? But your two pieces of your brain, they'll talk. We should do that. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Like that. But you'll end up just talking about things forever and not do it. And as soon as you talk to somebody out loud and you make that declaration, now you've said it and you've heard it clearly with your spoken voice, and now it makes more sense to you. Now you've also put it in front of somebody. Now they're going to expect you to do something with it. And then there's this whole just energetic thing. I've put it out into the world. The world will now know me as that.
Right.
Woo, woo, woo,
Right,
but
right.
It's kind of true, right? There's a Emerson quote, which is, you make your decision, and then the universe conspires to help you. That's just, you put it out there, and things show up. Like, You know, so the examples are, you know, my band, I got a band, and we're going to go get a label. We're finally ready. We're going to go get a label. We're really going to get, you know, somewhere. And that night or the next night, you're at a party and you meet a guy who is a record producer. He works at his label. You're like, oh my God, synchronicity and the universe, and oh, God gave him to me. Really, it's your RAS. Right, reticular activating system. It's a little piece of your brain.
Oh, tell me more about this.
I'm happy to.
Oh, fabulous.
I was hoping you'd say that. Yeah. So a reticular activating system is a little piece of your brain that filters out everything that comes at you and only gives you what you care about.
Aha.
Right?
This is
Yellow
why
Honda.
I didn't know that there was a Ford dealership right next to my office for months until somebody said it out loud. And then I kind of looked like an idiot, but I didn't never need a Ford dealership.
Right. It doesn't show up for you. So in the world of cars, say you're going to go buy a car. I'm looking for a car. I'm going to buy, oh, Honda's neat. Oh, yellow one. Nobody has yellow Hondas. And you drive around. Oh, look at all the yellow Hondas in the world. Where do they all come from? Why is everybody buying them? They were there. You just never told your brain it was important to you. Now it's important. Boom, there they are. You might have gone to that party and missed that conversation about the producer, you know, because it wasn't in your brain didn't know to look for it. It's a weird thing. Your brain does what you tell it to do. Yeah, weird. It really does, but you don't think it does, but it's magic because you have no idea how much your brain's hiding stuff from you all the time, right? If and it really is a number like this, 8 billion bits of information hit your head every minute, and your brain gives you like 20,000. Out of 8 billion bits.
I feel like I should thank it because if I had 8 billion bits to sort through, I mean, I wouldn't be able to speak to you right now.
Right. Yeah, you would just...
Apparently I wasn't. Okay.
Well, you weren't. Shit, overloaded. Oh, okay. Let me finish that. Your reticular activating system keeps your brain from exploding, right? And it gives you what you want. So when you make those declarations, I need a good accountant. I need a good painter. Like, it could be as simple as that. It happens. Right? Something will show up. And it's really weird. And actually, I've kind of forgotten how we got to here, but it was very exciting. All right, we're going to have to take a second and have a little bit of an actual commercial.
Fabulous.
How exciting is that? Okay, we're going to do that.
The west central coast of Florida has an amazing music scene. Festivals, clubs, special performances, and there's always a lot of live music. The problem has always been getting the word out about events. Then GoTonight.com emerged on the scene. The brainstorm creation of founder Don McKeon, a Sarasota entrepreneur. We caught up with Don and his inspirational friend, Frank Papa, at the Flying Dog Cafe.
This is Frank. I'm Don. Frank is the reason that there is a GoTonight.com. He would call me repeatedly.
Where are we going? Where do you want to go? Where will we go tonight?
The website has been a boon to many small clubs. So next time you find yourself asking, where will we go tonight? You've got the answer.
Hey there, welcome back. How were those commercials? Were they good? I actually didn't even get to see them. Next time I'll pay more attention and I'll watch, and maybe I'll do extra commercials next time.
Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is.
Hi, we're 20. No, we're not. So I'm assuming most of the people who are listening to this aren't 20. You probably know that commercial. Okay, great. How'd you, what? I thought you were like 14 years old. How'd you do that? Okay, so let's get back to, reticular activating system. So your brain does some stuff for you. I think that came off of getting accountable, saying what you need, knowing somebody's watching. You go, oh, somebody's watching. Your brain will go, oh, well, they're watching. And you'll consciously and unconsciously then do what you said you wanted to get done.
That little extra.
Or at all.
Yes, okay.
Things just get put off, you know? Like, for example, today, hear that little intro at the beginning of the show? For the 14 of you, I have no idea who's listening to this. At the beginning, there's a little intro. I mean, literally, that was made 1 minute before the show started. But I've been thinking about it for 8 days.
Well, that's why it came together so well.
Well, yes and no, right? That's my special gift is I'm an improviser. I can just come up with stuff when needed, and luckily generally works out pretty good. Yay. But wouldn't it be better if I'd done it 5 days ago? Wouldn't it have come across better and then been able to be re-edited and you know, it's like cramming in college or cramming in school, and you had 3 weeks to do a project and you do it all the night before. And people go, oh, but I need that deadline, I need that energy to get it done. Yeah, but if you faked that the deadline was 5 days earlier and you got done, you could put it away for 2 days and then edit it and see how badly you did in some parts. This is one thing I get consciously and still don't do all the time.
So I have to say that I was thinking about this just today at our Toastmasters meeting. I was finishing up my speech before the meeting. I left plenty of time for the editing phase, which is an improvement in my life, that I didn't just go in with my first draft. I left plenty of time for the editing phase, but as I was sitting there, I was thinking how much of this creative energy is coming from the fact that I'm giving this speech in an hour and a half, and how much of it is coming from didn't need that artificial deadline. Now, I also have to confess to a previous mentor who may still, I don't know, was the chief technology officer of a state.
Okay.
Since I don't have his permission to share this story.
Sure.
And
But we've narrowed it down to 50 people.
And he shared with me the value of information over time. So, for example, when he would so half of the job responsibility of being that particular person is political, and I mean literally, you're meeting with politicians, and the other half is technical. And so he shared with me a metric that he had put together where he charted that if he came up with a certain deadline, okay, we'll have this done by such and such date, and he was able to come up with the information 5 to 7 days earlier, then the benefit to the other people involved in the organization, it actually increased the value of his product by up to 80%, because other people could take it and they could do things with it and they could make it better.
By getting it early.
Getting it early. With a single business person, you don't have that same experience. But what if there are other parts of your brain that would want it to work on, would be able to make it something better and different and interesting?
Well, there's a thing for writers. I think maybe this applies to others. But when you write your first draft and you get it done, the thing to do is put it in a desk. You know, put it in a drawer somewhere and don't look at it for a week or two. Then when you read it, you can be a little more objective and then see it more clearly. And just having the more time is good. If you wrote it and then handed it in, you wouldn't get the opportunity to fix it and make it better. And again, it might not need fixing. It might, probably does. Everything could be fixed. Everything could be a little better, right? But at least you could say, oh, in this week I had a new idea I can add to it. I don't know. And I say this all very glibly and then wait to the last minute to get stuff done. And so do you...
But we're observing it and we're saying it out loud right now. We're in that phase.
So maybe it'll change.
Well, it at least has the possibility.
So how about you in your business? Is there a problem with...
I hate to do marketing.
Yeah.
Hate to do marketing.
I love it. It's my favorite. We'll talk about it. Come back next week. We'll talk about it.
I love doing the books and the accounting, and I'm very happy to do the networking events. I like meeting people. I really don't like marketing in general. I feel out of touch with the masses.
Yeah.
And so that's what I always put off. And I even have hired a PR person, public relations, that helps to coach me. And I missed a deadline last week because it's my thing that
it goes last.
I just forget to do.
Yeah. Let me throw in another point here. We can't explore this as deeply as I'd love to. I'll do it on another day. But what you said was, around the marketing, I can't get around talking to the masses or something like that. There are no masses. You want to talk to just the people who might like what you do.
Well, that makes it easier to think about.
Right? It's not for everybody. Right? I'm going to say something. I'm going to make it up, and mostly it's offensive to you. Sorry.
Well, that's most of what you say, Toby.
Yes, I know. Sometimes I'm offensive. But the thing is...
Ridiculous and offensive. That should be your tagline.
70%? Again, I love to make up numbers. 70% of people who go, oh, you do acupuncture and Chinese medicine? Weirdo. Right? You're like frou-frou, weirdo, crystal wearing, Birkenstock, granola eating. You know, like you're weird for them.
Right. Absolutely.
So 30% go... Well, I mean, of the remaining 30, even half of them go, well, it's a little fruity, but that's cool if she does it. You know, I guess people like that. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right,
And then you
right.
get like 10% of the people who go, awesome, I had the best acupuncture ever. It got rid of my cancer. It got rid of my blindness, right? And they're like, oh, I love it. So you're only writing to them. You only write to 10% of everybody.
Well, so in my head, I think I'm writing to the person who's right on the cusp of it. And once you've had acupuncture, you tend to have a very good, strong bond with your acupuncturist. Most people do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So I'm trying to reach people that haven't necessarily tried acupuncture yet.
Okay, but wouldn't it be easier to sell what you do to people who already like it and know they like it and need it?
Absolutely. In Tampa, there's not a lot of those people. And of those people, a lot of them already have their acupuncturist. And I sure don't want to steal anybody from anybody else. That's not my game.
Are you sure there's a low number of them? Are you sure they all have an acupuncturist? I mean, you're just making that up, right?
Well, I am basing it on the number of practitioners in Tampa and also the number of people that I have met at a variety of events over the past year. So, yeah, I'm totally making it up.
That's the thing. And the only reason I did that, like, pointedly is for the rest of you,
Like
anybody.
maybe I'm making an
you know,
excuse.
Yeah, you're just making that up, right? And you say, oh, well, you know, there's not that many people who like this thing. Really? Do you know? Have you done research? Is there some company that does demographics that you can tell? And this is for everybody in any business.
There are those companies. I have done that research. It isn't as specific as one would like. But I'm always going to it's my engineering nature of me. I'm always going to have a desire to try to meet the people that are coming from a little bit of skepticism, a little bit of, I've heard about this, maybe not. I don't know. I feel like crap right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've tried some other stuff and it failed. So
No,
I'll
you
try
could
this.
come to me first.
Yeah. But mostly that's what it is.
And it would be
I think, right?
it would be most beneficial. You know, people think about alternative medicine practitioners as alternative, and they don't think about them as, well, if I went to the Chinese medicine doctor, as soon as I started to come down with a cold, then the rest of that wouldn't happen, and I wouldn't have the antibiotics, and then the next phase for most of us women is the yeast infection and the uncomfortable
Stuff that goes along with
sequelae is the term we use. Yeah. So
But the real word is secondary effects. Like,
yes.
What side effects? Yeah. So, okay, sequelary. Ladies and gentlemen, sequelary. The word is sequelary. How many letters is that?
So it's sequelae. It's
sequelae.
SEQULAE.
Oh, now you just spelled it. I was going to have a game and give away $100, but sorry, I was going to give my
$100,
first
please.
caller. Well, it's kind of a cheat, yeah. All right, so we're going to run up on time here, but the last question I wanted to get, I kind of half did it, but we didn't get there, was how do you keep yourself on track to get the stuff done, even if you don't like it sometimes? What do you do?
Well, so I'll answer that a couple different ways. One is the business partner is one piece of that. Another is that I am a religious Franklin Planner person.
Oh.
And sometimes I'm the kind of religion that I don't necessarily go every week. Are you sponsored by them?
Sponsored by Mountain Dew. Sorry.
Even if I don't do my prioritized list every single week of my life, doing it even every other week, and usually it's every week, but even doing it every other week forces me to sit down and evaluate my priorities on a daily basis and to observe whether or not I am doing the things that I don't want to do. So they're falling off my list. And then I can make a decision. Do I just want to put a little X next to this and not ever think about it again? Or do I want to delegate this, ask somebody else to do it, maybe hire somebody else? Or do I need to find a buddy to say, so I'm really neglecting this. I need you to be my accountability buddy. And next time I see you, I need you to ask me about this.
Right. And if I haven't done it, I'll give you
Hit me over the head.
$100. Yes.
Ooh, that would be good incentive.
Actually, I heard a great one, which is and I even think there's a website, and maybe I'll look it up, but you can put in money into an account, right, an escrow or whatever, or you could give it to somebody and say, like, what group in the world do you not like the most?
Oh,
Right,
so
like,
if you
and
don't
pick something
do it,
horrible,
then
like, and I don't mean to offend anybody, except for maybe these people, but like the Ku Klux Klan.
Sure.
Right, you say, oh, well, I kind of don't agree with what they do, I kind of don't like that. And so you tell the person, look, if I don't get this thing done, you send my $100 to them, right? So that's accountability, like extra. Oh, I think I just lost me. But it's accountability, and it's, God, I don't want to fund them, right? And so it's, it's not only losing your money, but it's promoting a cause you don't like. So, That's an extra
That-
scary little.
It does
angle.
sound like that would work very well. I don't even want to think about that very much.
Yeah. So, but you would get your stuff done.
I would totally get my stuff done.
Right. So, and I just bring that up, right, because you had mentioned it earlier, like being consistent and getting things done, but it's for everybody in business, especially somebody just starting, right? They got a home office or they have a, what do you call it? A co-work space. I have a co-work space that I work in. And, I really like it. One second. And then I get thrown. I get people flashing things at me. Pictures of naked people. It's amazing.
Should be looking the other direction.
No, you wouldn't like it. No, maybe it might. I don't know. Yeah. But the thing is, what was I saying?
Your shared space, whether you work
Yeah.
at home or shared space office.
Thanks. Good thing you're here. That it's
Trying
just
to keep
too
you
easy
accountable.
to get comfortable and not do the stuff. It wasn't the biggest actually point in the world, but it's just like it's so easy sitting at home office to do other stuff, even if it's not. I mean, even if it was business related, but not the most important thing. But then if you're in your home office or working at Starbucks, it's too easy to do nothing, right? To wash the cat, right? I don't ever need to wash my cat, but if I got to do taxes, I'd much rather wash my cat. All right, so here's something amazing. Ready?
Tell me.
Somebody called us.
Oh, wow, awesome.
So let's see who this person is and what they have to say with us. Hello.
Hi, this is Margaret.
Hi, Margaret.
I tuned in earlier. I saw that your guys' show on the Talkwad Facebook page, and so I tuned in a little bit ago, and I noticed that you guys were talking about like goals and how to reach them and stuff. And I just thought I'd call in and see. I own my own business, a craft store, and something that really helped me was 43things.com.
What is that?
It's a website. If you go to it, I highly suggest everybody go to it. But it makes you like write down goals and lists for you, and kind of just to keep you accountable for them and stuff like that. But it just helps you get organized in what you want for your business and your goals.
Is it public then? Do you write them down and then other people see it and that's accountability?
No. It's just a way that helps you, but it's like www.43things.com, and then it just has like different templates and like different suggestions for you.
And does it send you reminders or?
No, I mean, if I maybe played around with it more, that could, but I don't. It just like has like things more just reading and then things for you to do.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Oh, I see.
a
Okay. So some
thing
coaching
though
with it.
is if somebody's not looking at it, it's easy to. For me, it's just another site I have to go to. I could make a list a few times, but by next Thursday, I'm starting to forget to go look at that site. It's just another tool I have to add, and I might not do it. But if I have a partner, accountability, a coach, something like that, then there's somebody. And again, even if that 43 things, if they sent me an email, that'd be cool. But especially if it was public. Making it public makes you do things, right?
So does this work for you? Do you use this currently?
Yeah, it worked for me. I know other people though that like they just need to be physically reminded by somebody. But what I did is I just put it somewhere where I see it every day. I put it by my mirror in my bathroom.
Right.
So then it's a constant reminder of
Oh.
things that I can, goals that I want to work towards.
So you wrote down 43things.com or you wrote down the goals?
The goals.
The goals.
Right. So now you don't need the
that's a good
website, right?
Exactly.
You just wrote them down and now you printed it out.
Each their own. People have different things, but it might work for some people, and other people might need different outlets, things for that.
Right. Cool. Well, thank you for calling me. Call back next week and we'll discuss other websites. Now, wait, you don't
Awesome.
actually own a craft. What kind of a store do you have?
A craft store.
Craft store. No, you don't really, right? You're CEO of 43things.com.
No, I'm
I'm
not.
just kidding.
What is your craft? I'm curious because I just started knitting this week and it's been a very humbling experience for me.
Oh, I don't do knitting. I have it's made like for scrapbooking and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So I have like different papers and just a little like mom and pop hole in the wall shop.
Cool. And where are you in the world?
I am in South Tampa, actually.
Oh, good.
Oh, neat. Me too.
You can even say the name of your store if you like. It's a plug.
It is called Scraps and Stuff.
Scraps and stuff.
So,
Dot.
yeah.
Okay.
No, not dot com.
It's, I mean,
Bricks and
I
mortar.
might end up
Dot
changing
bricks
it,
and
but
mortar.
I have there's other like little decor and stuff like there's stuff.
Cool. All right. Thanks for giving us a call. We'll check out scrapsandstuff.com if you're a scrapbooker. Actually, I know a couple people who would be interested in that. So thank you for calling. Maybe call back and we'll talk to you next week or the one after.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks. Bye.
I'm really glad that Margaret mentioned the writing it down because that's a big thing for me. If I don't write it down, then I forget to do
It
it.
literally will not ever happen. Right?
It's a shame.
And then the other tricky thing about your brain is you go, oh my God, this is the best idea I've ever had in my whole life. I couldn't possibly forget it.
Oh, yes.
I couldn't possibly forget it. I don't need to write that down. It is mind-blowing. It's world-changing.
What was that I was thinking?
And then they're like, do you want fries with that? And then you're like, blah, and you say, and blah, and the next day, it's gone. It's so gone.
Crazy how brains work.
6 months, a year later, you see somebody selling your thing. You're like, oh, God, I should have written that down. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the thing. Say it, get accountable. Writing it down makes a big difference. I mean, saying things out loud to people is about the best thing. Like, it's a declaration, the world hears it, and you're good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you a sad thing.
What's that?
We're out of time.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Wow.
We're just going to make up talking for an hour. Okay.
It's very easy to talk to you, Toby.
Thank you very much. It was very easy talking to you. It's all very nice. So this is our show. Well, it's my show. It's our show today.
It's our show today.
Cynthia Clark has been here. She works for. Those are sad words, right? It's Crane Acupuncture and Nutrition and Health or something. Say the name.
Something like that. So we shortened it
since
you first met me to Crane Health for just that reason.
Yeah. Crane Health.
Crane
and also in South Tampa.
South Tampa and Sarasota.
For those of you who are all woo-woo and want acupuncture and Chinese medicine, come along. She's great. For those of you on the fence who are a little bit skeptical, give her a call.
You are
Check
the
it
people
out.
that I love talking to.
Yeah, figure that out. I will tell you, and we have to go. We have 14 seconds. She's helped me with some stuff. You know, I have issues. It's been known. It's been said. I have issues, and I went and got needles in my ears, which sounds like the weirdest thing. Why would you ever want somebody to put needles in your ears? But apparently, putting needles in your ears cures your kidneys, which makes your ankles feel better.
Yay!
Let's confuse the people. Now I just scared away some people, but you know what? They're not your people. Right? Those ones who just went, no, that's crazy. They're not your person. You're never going to talk them into it, right? So just be okay with like, hey, if you know meridians and you're into Qigong, I can help you, right? Clear your stuff. And then there's the people on the fence. But hopefully they're closer to your side of the fence. You can't spend too much time trying to convince people.
That's a good point.
Always just go for the people who already know and like it. That'd be the best. This is for you too. And this is for all of you. Right? Yes, I sell a chiropractor. I'm a chiropractor. Who's your target market? Anybody with a spine, right? And that's been said, and people say it and they laugh. Okay, you're not the first to say it. It's not funny. And secondly, it's not anybody with a spine, right? Do you like to work with people who are injured in sports? Do you like to work with the elderly? Do you like to work with children? Do you like to work with people who are hurt on their job because you're a master at the workman's comp, paperwork, whatever? Workman's comp, yeah, right? So you pick the people and say, I like working with people with sports injury. So then you just say, I work with injured athletes who want to get back in the game. And if I'm an injured athlete, I go, well, you're a specialist. You're perfect for me. And if I'm 90 and I have a bad sciatica or something, and I go, well, you help them, but can you help me too? Yes, I can. I just can't afford to market to you. I don't have the time, the money, and the resources to market to everybody. But pick who's your real people and then go for them hardcore. And the rest, they'll come along or they won't. But if they don't like it, then don't kill yourself trying to convince them. That's my thing.
Wise words.
Yeah, well, I think it works. So this has been our day. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Straight Up with Toby Martini. Because it's a drink thing. Get it? Straight up. It's not on the rocks. It's straight up. Yeah. It's also, I'm a straight up kind of guy.
You are.
It's
true. You are.
I am. I'm very straight up. And then where do I want your business to go? Straight up. Get it? It's there's so many things behind this. It was amazing. I pulled it out of the air. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our show. I hope you had a good time. Cynthia, thanks for being here.
I had a great time.
Yeah, it's been great. And we are done. We'll be back next week, Thursday, 3 o'clock. Thank you very much. Have a lovely, lovely day.